you started your private equity investing early, but your initial experience was not great. I guess out of some 10, 15 investment, probably one or two succeeded, if I'm not mistaken.
Sure.
So one, what were the learnings from that? And now today, you are evolving to becoming a lead private equity investor. So where do you get that confidence from and what has changed?
Yeah, so private equity, I was basically tail coating. I was not a private equity investor. I loved the exit which the markets provided, and I was happy there were enough stocks available, and my capital was not of the size where I would want to, deploy a part of it in private equity. And therefore, if an opportunity came along, I coattailed with other investors. And that is where it all was. Till, you got opportunities. And even say, for example, with Vari, I was not going to be a lead investor over there. I was partnering with a private equity guy, and I hoped that he would be the lead equity investor. But in our interaction with Vari and the people, I realized that my effort will not be required. Only my capital would be required. And fortunately for us and our clients, that private equity investor backed out. And so we got a bigger chunk of the pie. Private equity requires a lot more intensive effort. You need a team, and you need insights, and you need a lot more time. Since everyone is time constrained, you need a team, and you need a smart team, and you need cutting edge research, and you need people who are capable of doing it.
Another evolution that you made, or a big call that you made, and very few people know about this, is a public market investment gone wrong. And then you went whole hog and actually bought the whole company out through NCLT process. What was that? Why?
This was the biggest mistake of my life. So it's a long story. We have time, I hope.
Oh yeah, don't worry.
So the company is Rico India, and the year is 2015. Somewhere around May, June, I invested a small amount in Rico India. And around, say, 500 or so, the stock went to 900, 950. And then it was trading around 600, 650, somewhere around there. November 2015, the October results were not declared. So there was the CEO of the company used to come on TV and say everything is okay, this is a procedural issue. But what had happened was the auditor had changed. And the stock went into, because of it was not declaring results, the stock went into trade for trade. And then there were rumors about the company that things were not right. And then the Japanese management brought in PwC to do an audit. And in that audit, problems were found. It seems there was a very serious fraud, which the company did not have any idea about. And then the management, the top 3-4 guys were all fired. This was, I think, April of 2016. And Gora from Europe was brought in, who was part of the internal team of Rico. He was brought in to set things right. In June or July of 2016, this gentleman, after digging through the books of Rico, advised Rico Japan to bring in 1100 crores, which was the size of the hole in his estimation in the balance sheet of that company. And Rico, remember, was a very ethical company. And they brought in 1100 crores into this tiny company, which was Rico India, without diluting the minority shareholders. So they wiped out 74% of their own equity and replaced that 74% by bringing in 1100 crores. This is unprecedented. It has never happened previously and not since. And so I thought, okay, fine, the hole is filled, the company has contracts, running business, and I invested more. And the stock continued to go down. And then in the meantime, I was actually fighting the Japanese management for not running the company properly. I called an EGM. I had a big fight with the Japanese management or the representatives of the Japanese people. And so this saga continued. Then in September or October of 2016, it was found that there was a bigger hole. The chairman of the Japanese company lost his job. A new guy was replaced as chairman of Ricoh India. There's no reason given, but we believe it was because of this huge fraud, which in reality was between 3,200 and 3,500 crores. So it's not spoken about, not known about. There is nobody who's bothered. Now, how this fraud happened was, there was a second set of books and the loan of this much, because the balance sheet was 800, 900 crores. Varun had figured out that there was a fraud. I had not. And so the Japanese company in connivance, someone in Japan with the Indian management was providing letters of comfort to the banks who were providing credit to this entity, and that credit was not reflected in the books of accounts. So for us public market investors, it was not known that the hole was so big, and the stock was in trade to trade. And on the last day of it being, suspended, I bought more. This was December of 2016, and then the stock got suspended. 3-6 months later, this new guy who was made the CEO of India, he was advised by Shardula Marchand Mangaldas that you have to pay your liabilities, and the only option for you is to go for voluntary bankruptcy. And they filed for voluntary bankruptcy. And since we were so close to the management and we knew what was happening in the company, we knew they had contracts and they had business. And since we also knew that under the IBC, the money put in by Japan, by the way, Japan did not bring that money to India. The 1,100 crores they brought to India, the rest they paid off the banks at the Japanese level only. So that debt did not reflect here. And because of the related party thing, the 1,100 crores which they had brought in was equity. There was no debt on the books except for some 70-80 crores from various banks over here. And so we knew that the debt in the company was not that great. And then me and Rakeshji decided to bid for the company, and we won. Now, one of the main reasons we decided to bid for it was also, he said, देख मैं मेरा नाम दे सकता हूँ, पैसा दे सकता हूँ, पैसे का तो इतना requirement भी नहीं है तेरे को, but चलाना तेरे को पड़ेगा. Now, that is when Mr. Atul Thakkar, my friend, he stepped in. Now, it was relying on him that I said, okay, he'll manage the company and we'll figure things out. So we went into the company, we refinanced the debts, we gave 400-500 crores of stock to ICICI Bank, took a working capital loan. We fulfilled all the contracts, some 35-40 contracts were pending, which had to be fulfilled, and then money is recovered. So it took Atul and his team, the existing team over there, which he made very little changes to. And remember, the top management was gone. The books were destroyed. He stepped into a minefield, he negotiated it, and he cleaned the books, he recovered the monies, and fortunately, this was 2020. So whatever money we used to recover, the strategy with Rakeshji and me was simple. जैसे ही 25 करोड़ जमा होगा, invest कर देने का. And that worked like a miracle, because then followed this bull market and 4 or 5 years and touch wood. So minority shareholder, the company is now named Minosha for minority shareholders. And we bought out the minority shareholders whose stock had gone to zero, which included me also. And they were given an exit, and now the company is called Minosha India. It was the worst investment in my life.
But I'm sure there was a lot of learning involved.
Of course, sure.
So what are those learnings, and how do they help you now?
Trust the people. Go with partners who are strong financially, as well as a backbone, a spine. देख लेंगे, जो होगा वो देख लेंगे. That kind of attitude. Only then can you, take really large bets, and the payoffs for large bets, if you get them right, is for all to see.